I'm going to record this. So this is worksheet 5 for biology, grade 8, semester 1. Question number 1 says, number one says, in order to identify the organs responsible for the production and the maturation of different immune cells, 5 different group of mice were subjected to different treatments. Okay, so 5 different groups are subjected to 5 different treatments. Yes, Maya, do you have to ask a question? Yes, Maya, you have a question?
No, no, can بس بدي I
You
need
want
to
to
answer.
answer? Okay, yeah, let's start step by step.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, step by step. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, in order to identify the organs responsible for the production and the maturation of the different immune cells, let's stop here. What is the aim of the experiment? Why do we do this experiment? It's found in the text. We did this experiment in order to identify the organs responsible for the production and the maturation of the different immune cells, to know where the immune cells they are produced and where they are matured. So for this aim, we did this experiment. So part number 1, I think we said what is the aim or the purpose or the objective of this experiment. Pay attention to this. What is the aim or what is the objective or what is the purpose? All of them, they are why do we do this experiment? So we did this experiment to identify the organs responsible for the production and the maturation of the different immune cells. We have 5 different groups. Group A, it's without any treatment. We didn't do anything. So what are the results? Presence of mature B and T. Both of them, they are mature. Mature B and T lymphocytes. So group A doesn't include any treatment. So this group is called control group. What is the role of this? It's called control group. Why? Because it's used to compare and explain the different results. Group A is called control. So whenever we have an experiment and we have a group with no variation, with no treatment, with nothing, we bring the mice and we see the result, what will happen to them. This is called a control experiment used to compare, and you have to study this. Control experiment is used to compare and explain the different results. Pay attention to the note here, okay? Before we move to the note, what is the role of group A? We answered this question. We said that group A is called control group, used to compare and explain the different results. Note, irradiation with X-rays destroys the bone marrow. Let's have your question. Let's pick now. I want to pick Celine Najdi. I want to hear your voice. Good morning, Celine.
Good morning.
How are you? Everything's good? Okay, Celine, what do you think? What is the role of the bone marrow? What is the role of the bone marrow?
I don't remember. I haven't studied it yet.
You have to study this. The role of the bone marrow. Who knows the role of the bone marrow? Let's have Abbas. Thank you, Celine. Let's have Abbas. Abbas, what do you think? What is the role of the bone marrow?
The role of the bone marrow.
Yes.
It matures T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, I think.
It matures B and T lymphocytes. This is your answer.
Yeah.
Let's say others. I want to pick now. Thank you, Abbas. Let's move now to Vanessa. I want to hear your voice. Good morning, Vanessa. Vanessa, good morning. Do you hear me? Maybe she has a problem with connection. Let's have Ali Basma. Ali Basma, good morning. Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Ali Basma. Okay, I will pick Hadil. Yes, Hadil, what do you think? What is the role of the bone marrow?
Production of all immune cells.
Excellent. Production of B and T lymphocytes. Excellent. And matures only B. So you have to know this. So B lymphocyte, bone marrow is responsible for the production of the immune cells, B and T, but it only matures B lymphocytes. That's why we said the last time, B bone marrow. So bone marrow is responsible for production of B and T, but it only matures B lymphocytes. Let's now move to Maya. What do you think? What is the role of the thymus? What is the role of the thymus, Maya? Let's see Maya if she has a connection problem or something. Maya, do you hear me? Okay, let's move now to Khadi and then we come back to Maya. Khadi, what do you think? What's the role of the thymus?
It matures the T lymphocyte.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Khadi. Thank you. It matures only T lymphocytes. So great. We said that irradiation with X-rays. Irradiation with X-rays. Yes, Maya?
أستاذ I know it بس كنتش قادرة أعمل
Okay, no
unmute.
problem. Your
أنا ما عم
problem.
بخليني.
Your turn is going to be the next. So keep you unmuted, okay? I will keep you
Okay.
unmuted. Okay, so we said that irradiation with X-rays is responsible for the destruction of the bone marrow, okay? So in the group B, Maya, they said treatment, irradiation with X-rays. What do we have? Absence of B and T lymphocytes. So they said interpret. What is interpret, Maya? Analyze
We
plus?
have to
Analyze plus what? Plus you have to give
indication.
an indication. Excellent. So analyze plus indication. What do you have to say? You have to say that after irradiation with X-rays, the result was the absence of mature B and T
B and T
lymphocytes.
lymphocytes.
So what does this indicate?
This indicates that we don't have B and T lymphocytes.
No,
And
this is the result. This indicates that the bone marrow, we don't have irradiation with X-rays. What does this mean?
We don't have bone marrow.
Yes, so irradiation with X-ray destroy the bone marrow.
I mean that the bone marrow
Is
gone.
responsible
We don't
for
have
the production of B and T
lymphocytes.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move now to Group C. Group C, let's have Gabrielle. So Group C, Gabrielle, they did irradiation with X-ray. So Gabrielle, they did irradiation with X-rays. What does irradiation with X-rays do? It destroys?
Destroy the bone marrow.
Excellent. Followed by grafting of the bone marrow. So عملنا grafting. We graft a bone marrow. زرعنا bone marrow. What is the result? Presence of mature B and T lymphocytes. So this indicates more and more that
the group he might have a bone marrow in there.
that bone marrow is responsible for the production of B and T lymphocytes. Okay, thank you, Gabrielle. Let's move now to Group D. Group D, let's have a new student. I want to pick a new student. Let's have Leah. Leah, Group D. Leah Bustani. So Group D, what do we do? Thymus ablation. What the meaning of this? Thymus ablation, so we removed the thymus. So thymus is removed. And then we did irradiation with X-rays. So there is no thymus, there is no bone marrow. Then we graft a bone marrow. So what will happen? Presence of mature B and immature T. How can you interpret this, Leah? Yes, Leah? Do you hear me? Maybe she has a connection problem. Let's move now to others. Let's see. I want to pick Sabine. Sabine, good morning. Sabine, hello. Hello, Sabine. She can't unmute herself. I don't know why. So let's have others. Let's see who will. Serene Ftuni, good morning. Okay, so no problem. Group D, thymus ablation, so there is no thymus. And radiation with X-rays, there is no bone marrow. But we graft a bone marrow. So we have a bone marrow. So presence of mature B and immature T. B and T, but only the B are matured. Why? Because we have the bone marrow, but immature T, since we don't have the thymus, this indicates that bone marrow is responsible for production of B and T and maturation of only the B. Why? T lymphocytes are matured and the thymus. Group E, we have thymus ablation plus irradiation by X-ray. So there is no thymus, there is no bone marrow. Then we graft a thymus. So we have thymus. What do you think the result? The result is the last part. Explain the result in group E. There is no bone marrow. And there is no production of B or T. No B, no T. Even though we have the thymus, but we don't have the T lymphocytes. So there is no presence. There is absence of B and T lymphocytes. Okay, this is the first question. Second question, observe the table below and answer the questions. Here we have four different lots. Lot number one, it's a control used to compare. In the normal case, without any treatment, we have injection of cultured bacteria. We inject this mouse with bacteria. We have secretion of antibodies. So in normal cases, whenever we have bacteria, we have secretion of antibodies. Number two, we did irradiation with X-rays. So we destroyed the bone marrow. No secretion of antibodies. So we destroy the bone marrow. There is no B or T. So there is no secretion of antibodies. Number three, irradiation with X-rays, then injection of B and T. We have secretion of antibodies. So here we can deduce till now that B and T, they are responsible for the secretion of antibodies. While in experiment 4, when we did the irradiation by X-ray, then injection of T lymphocytes alone, there is no secretion of antibodies. Okay, so what's the role of experiment 1? Also it's called control experiment, used to compare and explain the different experimental results. Draw out the information provided by both experiments 1 and 2. 1. Normal case, we have secretion of antibody. Irradiation of X-ray, which destroy the bone marrow, no secretion. So bone marrow is responsible for the secretion of B and T lymphocytes. Okay, so it's responsible for the secretion of antibodies. Interpret the results of 3 and 4. When we did irradiation by X-rays in experiment 3, there is no bone marrow. Why? When we inject B and T lymphocytes, there is secretion of antibodies. Okay? While in experiment 4, when we did irradiation by X-ray, then we inject the mouse with the bacteria, there is no secretion of antibody, meaning that T lymphocytes, they are not responsible for secretion of antibodies, while B lymphocytes, they are responsible for the secretion of antibody. So draw out a conclusion concerning the antibody producing cells. They are the B lymphocytes. Okay, you have to be careful that control experiment, what is the role? You have to keep it in your mind. Control experiment is used to compare and explain the different experimental results. And you have to know that bone marrow is responsible for production of B and T lymphocytes, and it matures only B. That's why the name B lymphocytes, bone marrow. And thymus, it only matures the T. That's why T thymus. You have to keep this in your mind, and you have to review the notes. These lessons, they are connected with each other. Okay?